What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Today we're doing just a trying new makeup video. I have such a random smattering of things to put on my face today. Have y'all ever heard of this brand, Doll 10? I think it's a pun. I think that the owner's last name is Dalton. There's the explainer there, but come on! Why is everybody, no, leave me alone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I have so much going on. So anyway, yes, Doll 10. I've been using these. I'm like not 100% sure how good the shade range is. I will take a look, but I did want to show it to you because I do have it, and I did like go on Instagram and I was like, this brand has a lot of followers. I guess I'm the last one to the party, so, you know, new brand on my channel. We also have, and this is maybe like, I don't know, one of my most exciting things I've gotten in the mail in a while. I love the LH Cosmetics eyeshadow formula, and this is the Smoke It Out palette in partnership with someone, and I'm so sorry. I don't know anything about any of this stuff, but this is in collaboration with another creator that they didn't for some reason put her name on the actual packaging. It was on the outside box, so I'm helpless at the moment. I'm hamburger helpless, but this is so beautiful. This is a 9-pan that they just sent me, and we'll put this on my eyes today. I have makeup from a brand called Flight 70. Apparently it is owned by like some Gen Xers. That's what they call themselves in this case, and all their stuff is like named after like their favorite songs from their generation and stuff, and it's supposed to be, you know, age-friendly makeup and stuff like that. Either way, I'm 36. I consider myself to be a candidate for that. It looks really deep, but we will see. But it looks kind of, I don't know, looks kind of fascinating. And when I end up with too much of that on my face, Natalie did send me a refill for my Victoria Beckham matte bronzing brick, so we will do the satisfying exchange on camera where I actually drop the pan into the component for y'all, just because I think that we all need that right now. Laura Mercier sent me a bunch of their holiday stuff. I have a Glow and Go Forth Tinted Moisturizer Blush collection here. We'll see, because I bought all of these because I was really excited about them and I didn't end up loving them, but maybe I've had a change of heart, who knows. Oh, Naturium just sent me all of their new Phyto Glow lip balms in these beautiful, I have another one lying around somewhere, all the beautiful kind of like brown tones. And I took some questions on Instagram, as I usually do when I do a try to get ready with me, so let's go ahead and jump in. Oh, and you know how everything's just frustrating sometimes? I'm eating what's left of my kid's organic garden veggie straws that he only really likes because Elmo's on the front. They cut your mouth up. They're like little cheese graters. They're awful. They don't even taste good. It's just a salt delivery system. We've had a groundbreaking moment. Let me chew and swallow. We've had a groundbreaking moment. I dampened a sponge and then I just set it down and I remembered where it was, and we don't have to hunt for it. I might be speaking too soon. Something could befall us. Something totally unanticipated, but at this moment, I have a dampened sponge in my hand and we are going according to plan so far. So I have Fairlight and I have Light here. Let's swatch these and see what we have. So again, this is the Doll 10 Luminous Super Coverage Serum with Niacinamide. TCE means this covers everything, and I won't lie, it doesn't cover everything, which is good. I don't want it to cover everything. But the other thing that I like was a little unpleasantly surprised by was just like, I don't know, a brand that I've never heard of is pretty expensive. It's like $56 for this foundation. I was like, you're not exactly coming out all cylinders firing here. You know, I'm gonna Google it and just see. Thank you for going on this journey with me. Yeah, we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 shades. 8 shades on QVC where I was looking, 10 on their website, still upsetting. If you're gonna call your product "this covers everything" and you're basically implying that it has full coverage, don't put out 8 shades, especially when 2 of them are that close to each other and I could wear either one. Yeah, like that's Light and Fairlight. And I do also have Light Medium kicking around somewhere, but I don't know where. I think Light is gonna be the one, and we can brighten stuff up with concealer. They do have a concealer that they sent me also. But yeah, I just think that in the year of our Lord 2023, coming out with 8 shades in anything complexion-wise is pretty upsetting. It's just not it. So me being basic white girl, I'll go ahead and apply this, but it's my opportunity to say publicly, if you're gonna send me product, guess what? I'm going to call it like it is and tell you that that is not a good enough shade range. All right, let's take a question while we do this. I'm just gonna let this sit on my skin and look really normal. This is like a very normal thing to do. Oh, these are good. So I asked for kind of like funny, silly questions. Do you have a favorite freckle? Aww. You know, I do, but it's on my leg. Man, it's my favorite because me and Simon both have it. We also have the same nick in the back of our ear. My mother talked about it so much when I was a kid. She's like, you have a nick in the back of your ear. You're not, she should say, you're not show quality. I'm like, okay. I never knew what she was talking about, but it really does. It looks like someone took a tiny spoon and just scooped out the back of my right ear right here. And I, you know, had a child, and I was like standing behind him one day and I went, oh my God, this is urgent, this is important. And I had to send my mother a picture because my child also has a little nick in the back of his ear. Apparently it is hereditary, and it made me really happy. It's like I've never been more proud. I actually took Simon for his 3-year checkup today. And I will preface this by saying that I would never ever in a million years fault this child for, you know, any kind of expression of his emotions. Like, I think that, you know, kids are allowed to cry, boy, girl, whatever. Like, you're not supposed to be like toughened up. Like, that's definitely not my philosophy. He got his flu shot and I was like, I always try and prepare him. I'm like, all right, we gotta be brave. Like, this is a moment to be brave because it's gonna hurt. I am very afraid now that my child is going to be just as pierced as I am, because like they shoot the needle into his leg and he looks at me and he goes, that hurt. Like, he was not pleased, but like nary a moment of fear or panic. He was just like, that hurt. Okay, so now we're gonna use this concealer, also in the shade Light. Comes in this little container with a little metal tip on it. Again, you know, I'm gonna tell y'all, whoa, whoa. I'm gonna tell y'all whether I think that this is good, but part of that calculus is the shade range, and you're starting behind with a shade range like this. So, what is your favorite artificial flavor that tastes nothing like the actual thing? A banana runt. Oh my God. Banana runts are like one of my guilty pleasures. There are a lot of like artificial flavors that I don't love. Like, I'd much rather have like a regular real coconut than like fake coconut. I'm just not that person who's like, awesome, sunscreen, put it in my mouth. But yeah, artificial banana is just, it's kind of everything. Now, I went to a restaurant in the city with Simbri and Nicolette and Kelly the last time I was there, and they all were so stoked that there was banana pudding on the menu, on the dessert menu, and it was like all done up with like, you know, these beautiful like graham crackers and what have you. And I mean, I think that there's like an entire like 10-minute segment in one of Hannah's videos before she went on maternity where she just waxes poetic about how much she loved, it was hot takes, a new beauty hot takes video, and there was a candle that had just come out that was based on a really famous banana pudding recipe that you can go get somewhere in New York or something. I'm not really sure, but I don't like banana pudding. Like, when Landon Talks, the guy who's kind of the like authority on Southern colloquialisms and like cultural stuff or whatever on TikTok and Instagram, when he did the big bracketed breakdown of all of like the Southern desserts and like everybody had to vote and it was like it was tournament style, banana pudding went to second place. I was like, what? Like, that many people like banana pudding? It was like up there with like pecan pie, like key lime pie, and peach cobbler, okay? And spoiler, peach cobbler won because of course it did. Why in the heck did banana pudding make it that far? I really thought maybe I, as an adult, had like grown into the taste of it, and I took my spoon at that dinner that I was with them at, because I always order dessert. It's like a personal rule of mine, and I ordered a big shave ice, like with a bunch of fruit inside of it and everything, but I decided I was going to try their banana pudding because it came out first, and I took the tiniest, like, fear-based bite. I'm a really adventurous eater, but it's like I knew I wasn't gonna like it, and like I stuck my spoon in there and I put the tiniest bit on my tongue and I went, I don't like banana pudding and I don't want any part of it, but an artificial banana flavored runt, yeah, that's the one. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. So yeah, that's fair. No, sorry, that's Light. And I would say that it's like a really good match, if not a little too light. Maybe-ish, but either way, I like the way that it looks. It's a really beautiful kind of serum consistency on this foundation, and on the concealer, they're really, really pretty. But as far as like my job, which is to compare it to the vast selection of what's out there and, you know, all the things that are sitting in front of me in my collection, we're talking about a foundation and a concealer that are very pretty among very pretty things. And it doesn't have anything that sets it apart from those things. It doesn't have a good shade range. It's not, you know, a wildly anything specific. You know what I mean? Like, it's not giving me something that other things don't have. Like, it's beautiful. Yes, it is. And it does wear for a long time, but so do many, many things. And the price point isn't great. So it's like, if it were amazing and it were a bargain, I would have something to say about that, but it's, you know, for $56 for the foundation, like, what, you know, there's nothing that sets it apart. You might as well be using, I mean, gosh, Prada, Gucci, I mean, Chanel, like, they're like $65 on the low end. $70. Like it's really putting itself in that category. And not that, I mean, Prada has a pretty good shade range. Gucci has a good shade range. Chanel doesn't have a great shade range. Even though I can't use octinoxate, like Shiseido's out here making stuff at that price point. Like they're really putting themselves at a disadvantage by just kind of like not really standing out in a good way. Oh, this is very similar to the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin. Okay, that's a very, very good comparison here. It's a little higher coverage, but then I would compare it to the other Danessa Myricks one. You know what I mean? Like it's got that same kind of like grippy, serumy finish as the Danessa Myricks, and Danessa Myricks, I would far rather give her my money, you know? Okay, I love when people have these like funny little like parasocial fascinations. This person said, please say, I would like a creepy, creamy, crispy cracker. You have the crispest R's. I need to know. I think they meant I need you to know. That is the sweetest thing in the world. So I'll say it again for you. Creepy, creamy, crispy cracker for you. I did not know that I had a specific way of saying R's, but that's, I love that. I love that. I'm very flattered by people like noticing little things about me, so thank you. That's so nice. I think that next we're gonna powder. I wanna use this. I like it, okay? There are moments to use new things, and then there are moments where I wanna make sure that y'all kind of see what I like as a reflection of what I use. So I've been really, really liking the Prism Libre powder. I think it's very good. We were actually in Sephora yesterday, me, Tom, and Tom's friend Kristen. So I got to go to Philly yesterday. Philly is really not far from me. It's like a beautiful drive until you get to Pennsylvania, no offense. The New Jersey drive is great, and then you get on the highway, which is like not that pretty. But either way, pleasure, just a pleasure of a drive. Just long enough for a couple playlists, it's perfect. And then I met them in the city and we had brunch, and then we went to Sephora. I need a brush. We're gonna use this one. So this is a 113 from BK. Like, you know, because what you do when you're with other beauty creators or other beauty lovers is you just kind of go through the beauty stores. Look how blurry and gorgeous that is. Ugh. And you kind of just give your judgment on everything. Like you just go through and just see if you agree or disagree on certain things or whether you've tried them. I was like, Tom, did I actually end up buying the Makeup by Mario concealer? And they're like, no, I don't think you did. I think that you skipped that one, but you got the House Labs. And I was like, you're right. And so like it was, you know, it's just that kind of thing. It's almost like a meeting of the minds. But we got to the Dior Bay, and of course it's always interesting to go with someone who used to work at Sephora. So like Tom worked at Sephora for years, and so it's just very, very interesting. I got to Dior and I'm just like looking at everything and like, you know, kiss any Dior sponsorships goodbye, but like I was looking at everything and I was like, I can't remember what I used to like about Dior. Like I'm not gonna defend their quints. Me and Tom are like this singular dissenting voices out there being like, those quints are just not that good, okay? They're sooty and they're all the same color value, and so you can't build dimension, and like we have the same common interest in building dimension. So anyway, I was also looking at the new blushes, right? And I was like, you know, they redid all the blushes and like that's really exciting, and I was excited about it at the time. Y'all, my pores just disappeared in a way that doesn't look like a wild full beat, and like it just gives me so much confidence when I'm applying this that it's not going to be too much, but it's so stinking perfecting without being super glowy like an hourglass powder or something, because it does add a little bit of coverage. I freaking love this stuff. But what I arrived at, what I kind of said out loud, I was like, now that I know that the Prism Libre blushes, for all of their kind of like a little bit like fussy inconvenience to like dispense and use, they're so much more rewarding and easier to work with and prettier and better colors and everything than those Dior ones that like, I don't know what Dior can do right now to impress me. Like for every product that's viral from Dior, I'm very like, there's something better from another like luxury fashion house right now. So Givenchy is blowing my mind. They're just doing a really, really good job. And they did send the foundation, and I'm not doing it in this video because I want to compare it side by side to the Prada for y'all. Cause like, I'm not sure like which one I like better. I like the Prada better in terms of when I'm first applying it. I feel like it's more secure, but like over the course of the day, I kind of like the Givenchy just as much in the way that it looks under makeup. I just need to apply it a couple of different ways to like, you know, get my head around it. But yeah, I just wanted to know I am testing that behind the scenes. I will have a comparison for you. Let's swatch this. I'm just gonna ruin this embossing. So again, this brand is Flight 70, and it's actually really hard to not have it blown out, but it's a really, really pretty component. I love this very svelte component. It reminds me of, oh no, what was that brand? I'll put it on the screen. I can't remember, but it was that red packaging. It reminded me very much of this component. It was beautiful. They only had like 2 products. It was like a skin tint and that. But either way, here we go. Let's swatch. That's not bad. I think that we can make that work. You know, that's kind of blending all of them together. Let's see. It's kind of red, obviously, because it's mixing together all those colors. And it does have kind of some visible shimmer in there, not like, you know, big particles, but you can tell that it's not completely matte. But I think that, I'm being really careful. I think maybe it's a little high contrast. The formula is not like 100% ideal. It's kind of giving blushy bronzy, which is not bad. I just kind of need to like adjust my mind. It's like almost like, yeah, because this is called, yeah, burnished bronze. Yeah, I mean, this is a bronzer. It's in the shade Vacation.
Vacation, all I ever copyright.
Not gonna lie, this is patchy. It's like not easy to work with. I think it's just kind of too high contrast for my skin. And it's gonna end up looking pretty because I'm gonna be able to bridge the gap with other things. If you're ever kind of dealing with something that's too high contrast, it's just like trying to dye your hair something too high contrast. You just have to fill in the gaps and you can make do. Plus it's makeup, so you can just wash it off. But either way, yeah, it's giving blushy bronze. It's definitely really patchy. I'll have to look and see if they have lighter shades than this, because like it's a very pretty undertone, but I don't think it's my shade, you know? So we've all been waiting for this moment, or at least you have been since the beginning of this video. You didn't know that you were waiting for it until now. We have here, ooh, the matte bronzing brick refill. This will give Natalie so much satisfaction because this is what happened to mine, and I shouldn't say happened because that's like passive voice. We should say I did this to her. Here's what we're gonna do. Boop, 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 boop. All right, dumpity dump dump. And even though I didn't use this all the way up, I used this dutifully for so long. It's super expired. I've had it since 2019, I think. 2019 or maybe early 2020. Like frickin' so, okay. Yep, ooh. I'm gonna go get an alcohol wipe and wipe this out. I just got one of those Glow Pro little, it's like an LED roller for your face or whatever, because somebody in my comments was like, actually, that's really helped with like my crepey neck, and I was like, let's freaking go. So they send, honestly, this is really audacious. The fact that they send you a bottle that you have to fill with alcohol in order to clean it, I think is really funny. I'm like, why did you send the bottle with no alcohol in it? Like, either send both or don't send anything, but either way. I don't usually do soothing content, but here we are. I feel like I owe this to y'all at a bare minimum. And I just think that it's like cool to see something that's, you know, very conceptual, which is a replaceable pan, which we all say that we love to see and things like that. Like to actually see it in action. You can actually keep this component. The component's not perfect. It has like one little tiny chip right there. Let's clean the front of her too. And now, okay, pop this little one out. Appreciate Victoria Beckham's commitment to actually following through on this, because a lot of brands say that they're gonna have replaceable pans and then they just never sell replacement pans. Here we go. Here we go. Y'all ready? Ooh, that feels good, doesn't it? Feels good to me too. And in honor of my friend Natalie, who sent me this, we're going to use her namesake, Rattly Natalie, the brush. So the way that I love to use this, you use that light colored bronzer, quote unquote. It's so fair that it works as a perfect kind of bridging powder that helps to blend all of the lines that happen when I use something that's kind of too high contrast. Look at that. Like, it's not a setting powder in the sense that like that's the, you know, a color I would use on my entire face, but it does such a good job of filling in between. And then I'll use the same brush and see if we can get just a little contour moment as well. That was the wrong brush for that. Use this one here. Oh, this is a Beauty Pie brush. Beauty Pie did just send me their new foundation and concealer. And, you know, I'm sure it's lovely, but they sent me shades for someone else. I mean, they're deep, deep, like, you know, not even close. Not even close. Like, I really feel like they sent me like the wrong package. So I need to reach out to them possibly, or just buy them. But either way, anyone from Beauty Pie is watching this. That's why we're not talking about your foundation right now, is because I opened it and I was like, uh-oh, that's not right. They sent me like medium deep or something. I think that the Flight 70 is for someone else, not for me kind of thing. But we managed to make it work. And now we're going to go in with the LH Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. We're gonna take some questions while we do it, because I'm not gonna sit here and like talk about every single thing, but I'm really, really stoked. Again, it's called the Smoke It Out palette, and it looks like a really good smoky palette. These colors are very similar to what I would choose were I to put together a quote unquote like smoke it out palette, because it's just like different tone values, different temperature values of the kinds of brown looks that I would want to make, you know? And then there's this wild green. It's kind of the, you know, pop of green gimmick in my opinion, because I'm probably never going to use that color, but it's really pretty. I kind of swatched it over black at one point and it does a good job. It's just, I don't know if that's like ever going to have a place on my face, but the rest of them, like 8 out of 9 in a 9 pan, I'll take it. Plus, the LH Cosmetics formula, I'm telling you, it's just really good, okay? It's just really good. All right, let's get silly goofy with some questions. You're in one of those single survivor mystery movies. Are you the victim or the mastermind? Oh, you know, it's kind of funny. I would love for people to leave me a comment before I answer that question and just tell me what you think I'm going to say, because I think a lot of people assume that I'm kind of like Machiavellian or something. Also, I got a bunch of new brushes from BK. This is the travel set from Angie Hot and Flashy. So, you know, shorter versions of all the brushes, which is just great. Always happy to have more. So thank you to BK. Can't say enough about their brushes. This collection is gorgeous. So I do, like, I think that some people on the internet, because you kind of can't always avoid finding out people's opinions of you, people kind of assume that I'm like a mean girl. I'm telling you, I don't have the God-given intelligence to be a mean girl. Maybe when I was like in kindergarten, you know what I mean? And I was like you have that like toddler manipulation thing where you're like, you're my friend and you're not my friend and I'm gonna be bossy. But like past that, I don't know, naivete just kicked in. I have never in my life been the person who sees something coming, okay? Like I was never cool in school. I just quoted Ben Folds. That song is so good. Underground, God, that song is so good. I'm gonna have to listen to that after this. I was not cool until maybe like college, and honestly like when I was quote unquote cool, I didn't know I was cool, and so like I didn't enjoy it. I was just anxious the whole time, just trying to be cool. But to answer your question, I've said this in the podcast, no one in my life has ever accused me of being tactical. I'm a dum-dum. Like, my mom and I are both those people in like watching movies or TV shows where there's a plot twist and we're like, no way! You know what I mean? Like, we are who those things, those plot points were like built for, because we never see anything coming. We are like the most Pollyanna about everything. I would absolutely be the like first to die. Maybe the second, you know what I mean? But like to figure out the plot, absolutely not. Not at all. Not at all. I love a good mystery movie. I love, the Glass Onion. I just love Daniel Craig. But I mean, mystery movies, mystery series, anything like that, like they're very, very fun for me. I don't watch horror movies really. We've talked about this. I can't do things that are going to implant themselves in my mind, in my photographic memory, because they don't leave. And so I have to be really careful kind of what I expose myself to visually. Like I can hear things, like people can tell me things all day long. Open your heart to me, tell me, but like don't show me someone having a limb severed, okay? Because I can't put that in where it belongs, which is that's not reality, that's movie magic. No, that will never leave my brain. Okay. And honestly, a lot of times like really Machiavellian, calculated, you know, screwed up plot lines where it's like Luther, like the new Luther movie, I couldn't get through it because like it freaks me out too much. Like when someone is really diabolical, like there's a point at which it's fascinating and entertaining and then it moves past that and becomes really scary. And when someone has like a very diabolical kind of like evil mind in a show or something like that, like it gets to be kind of too much for me. So to answer your question, I would not be the last one. Absolutely not. I would be out so early. I would barely be in the cast. Okay, so I'm having a little bit of trouble here. I don't know if y'all are noticing that, but like these mats are dusty. Like after I was being so complimentary about this, maybe it's because I powdered with the Givenchy. I think that might be it. Let's try, even though I've already done some, like it kind of isn't sticking, so I think maybe we'll add some primer. Out the way no more, I promise. God bless Urban Decay. Every time they send something, they send a new primer potion, so here we go. Here we go, primer potion. Just do a little bit of that. Do a little bit of that. But y'all know me. If it's too fussy, like if I have to use a glitter glue, girl, bye. You know, it needs to stick on its own or I just won't use it. It's never like worth it to me. Now that we got the primer on, let's try this again. Tell us about your double nose piercing. You make it look so cool. Thank you. Thank you. What a nice thing to say. So I love piercings. I should say that. It's kind of another one of those things in my life where I was like, no one's ever let me do anything to change my appearance, and now I'm 18 and I can do whatever I want, you know? After like stretching my ears since I was 15, whatever, but like I've always really liked the idea of just like having total freedom to change my appearance. And when I got to college and, you know, my friend Jordan had like snake bite piercings because Polk County, Florida, okay? Like they commit to the bit. I was going to like piercing shops and stuff like that, and I'm from Tallahassee where I went to school, and so I was, you know, taking my friends to those piercing parlors and stuff like that to, you know, get their stuff done so that we were all doing it safely and responsibly and things like that. And this is sticking a lot better now. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, I knew I wanted, it's like you know that you want a piercing. You're just like, I need to get pierced. It's like those people who like need to get tattooed, you know what I mean? And I've never seen piercings as being particularly consequential. Like you can, I mean, unless you like pierce the middle of your cheeks, like that does scar, and so does like your lip up here. But like most of this stuff is kind of like, you know, if somebody sees, if I decided like later on I didn't want that anymore and somebody saw a hole, like I'm not gonna be like, you know, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe I did that in my youth or something like that. Like I knew I wouldn't regret it. I'm not sure that I knew I was gonna keep them this long. Maybe I did. I was like, it's not a phase, mom! You know? I think it's actually my stretched ears that I thought I would like shrink up and close up sooner, but like I just have never really had the urge to. They just still kind of go with the vibe and I like them. And I'm sorry I'm so chaotic today. Today's chaotic. I'm just a reflection on the day. I'm not gonna use the black. Me and black eyeshadow, it's just not a thing that I typically do, but I will go for the burgundy here. So I got the first one when I was 18, and then I got the second one done right before, so it was like one, it bookended college. One was right when I got to college as a freshman, and one was as a senior right before I left. I didn't really intend for it to be so poetic, but I guess it's kind of poetic. This is really a lot harder to work with than I thought it was going to be. I'm having trouble smoking it out, as it were. Let's mix the two pinky shades together. Do you see how much it's kicking up in the pan? It's kind of everywhere. Like, look at how like patchy that is. Super frustrating. I mean, it's fine. You know, most things can be, look at that. Most things can be fixed with glitter and eyeliner and mascara, but that is just uncooperative. And that's really unusual for an LH Cosmetics palette. Usually I have a really, really nice, easy time with them. This feels like a different formula on the mats. But a couple of times, like I've lost the jewelry, and you know, that's when you kind of have that decisive moment where you're like, is this going to be something that I, you know, maintain? And the answer has always been yes. I've always just like rushed to the nearest like piercing parlor and been like, help, do something, anything. And then it was about 2 years ago, I think, that I found a really great piercing parlor near me, and I ended up going in there and like getting more piercings. I got my third holes done there, and then investing in actual like gold jewelry for my nose, because I was just wearing the surgical steel piercing jewelry for like years and years and years, and it's silver, and I just wanted it to all go with my aesthetic, you know? All right. The pink helped, and I think it's just because it's closer to my skin tone, so it's like blending pretty well up here. The deeper shades are they're real difficult. Like that's just hard. Like I would not touch that black. Too high contrast on me. I don't think there will be any coming back from it. So as far as those shimmers are concerned, I mean, I love this one, but I think that because of the colors in the palette, I kind of feel like this is the one that makes the most sense right now. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a gradient, but I kind of have to go with that like one that goes a little more towards burgundy. We'll put that here. Yeah, it at least goes really well with the shade that I already had as like the deepest color in my crease. And for that reason, I think it'll hide a world of sins in terms of my blending. They're not particularly wildly textured like the shimmers. Do you see that? Like it's just kind of like a satin. It's not by any means like foiling or anything like that. So it is giving smoky. The name is not lying. If the Catholic Eucharist is bread and wine, What would your personal Eucharist be? Food and drink. I love y'all so much. Y'all are bananas. Like, I can't get enough. Y'all are so funny. I love how you freaking understand the assignment every time. Every time. So, is it that one? It's a little bit of that. Oh, it's for sure a little bit of that. That's FYI. Yeah, and that's just like a really beautiful bronze. I think that that's actually perfect to layer over. And they do build on each other pretty well. It's still not that like really unctuous, delicious, creamy texture that I remember from her other palettes, you know? Might be exactly the same, they feel drier. I'm gonna take a little bit of the burgundy that we just used and I'm gonna kind of underneath my eyeballs. Let's see, my personal Eucharist. I did grow up in the Catholic Church. I've had a lot of bread and wine in my day. This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Duke's mayonnaise is too viscous. We couldn't do it. I would love to be able to shoehorn that into this situation, but it's not appropriate. Potato chips and hot sauce. If you haven't just had potato chips with hot sauce, oh, I'm salivating. If you haven't just had potato chips with hot sauce, and I'm talking any of them, the salt and pepper ones, I'm salivating. The kettle salt and pepper ones, those are the best ones to do, but also the Lay's Limon, holy macaroni. And then you put either Cholula or like Crystal hot sauce on there. Girl, that is my personal Holy Eucharist, okay? If you haven't tried it, you're not doing life right yet, okay? Just do it. And if you don't like it, that's fine, but you gotta try it. It's so excellent. So thank you for asking, because I really needed to channel within myself what my own personal Holy Eucharist of khaki is, and it is potato chips and hot sauce. Thank you. Thank you for attending my weird TED Talk. All right, a little bit more of that burgundy out here. Doody doot doot. And I'm talking such a little bit. Doody doot doot. And there's not really anything like light enough to use as an inner corner highlight. I guess I'll just blend with that gold. Cause like I don't want to take that all the way to the inner corner because it's too dark to do that, but I do feel like the shimmers make so much. Actually, the color story makes a lot of sense. It's just that the formulas don't really make sense. The mattes don't really make sense to me. And I do wish that there was like a little bit more variety in the textures. Like I wish that like one of them was like a topper, you know? Okay, so like what the crap is that? Like that's giving Natasha Denona palette to me. The way that it just like stamped and patched and that was it. Now you get to see it in 4K. Don't love that for me. Don't love that for me. In fact, I think that the answer is to let everything hit the ground. Why does that Chanel highlighter have such a death wish? Like I just picked it up so that I could use it and it literally fell off back into the exact same spot. No, I'm gonna use you today, Drage. I'm gonna use you on my face. So the answer was the Victoria Beckham, and I want a bigger brush for this. Yeah, I'm just gonna stick that in there and kind of do one of those and just sort of blendy. Can I explain the use case of this palette for other people? Like this little guy? Absolutely not. No. I can explain why it works for me, and that's because the colors are so kind of like close to being native to my skin tone that they're not really a bronzer and a contour. They're more of just these like colors that are extremely useful to me, and that's how I think of them. But like, am I gonna recommend that you, unless you are a skin twin with my exact needs, like run out and buy this? No, because I don't think that it is a bronzer and contour palette. Or maybe it is for like very fair skin tones. And then it does come in multiple shades, but like this particular one, when everybody sees me use it, I feel like most people are like, I mean, that's a you thing. You know, that's just really like a you thing. Let me know in the comments, has any of y'all bought this and used it the way that I use it? I did buy the new Victoria Beckham Cinnamon Spice eyeliner today. I'm so excited. Like I get a text message from Natalie that just says, the new Victoria Beckham eyeliner. I was like, I know. I literally got the text while I was at brunch with Tom and I was like, oh, new Victoria Beckham eyeliner, and they were like, I know! Because it's the best. We're gonna do brows. I almost ordered another one of her brow liners because the ones that they sent me were a little too dark for me. And then I was like, I don't use brow pencils right now. Like I just haven't used a brow pencil in so long. I'm just using the Kosas brow pomade in medium brown and clear. Sometimes soft brown and clear, depending on which one's sitting in front of me. I haven't used a brow pencil in ages. I kind of just like a little bit more natural look lately. Plus I'm lazy. Best accidental thing that you've instilled in Simon. I'm gonna use the Cocoa eyeliner from Victoria Beckham. You know, speak of our Queen Mother. Accidental Accidental. If I take a step back, everything is technically accidental, because who the heck am I? Who decided I got to be a parent? You know what I mean? I think that like he just comes by something so naturally that's so awesome. Like he's just so sweet and kind. Like he really cares if you're hurt or if he did something wrong or whatever. Like, and a lot of times if he cries in a situation where he's like being scolded or something, it's not because he's like upset that he did something wrong. It's like he's upset that he upset you kind of thing. He's just a total sweetheart. Okay, so here's something, I shouldn't say I instilled this, it's more that it's just inherited. He got my, I don't have any kind of consciousness or foresight for the inner workings of the human mind. I don't at all. everything comes as a surprise to me, but I do have like a sense of being able to look at something like a mechanism, like a, you know, just from like an engineering standpoint, and figure out how it works. Like if somebody's like, oh, these two things came apart, my dishwasher is broken or whatever, like I can look at the parts and see how they go back together. I can tell you, oh, you're missing a part or whatever. Like that's just something that has always come really naturally to me, and he has it too. I can tell because he has this kind of like problem solving thing where like he doesn't even skip a beat. He just like, if something isn't the way he wants it to be, he starts trying to take it apart and then put it back together in the right way. Even like food, you know, he's just like, I don't like this one thing, I will try and disassemble it to make sure that, you know, this is the thing that I want or whatever. Like he's very adaptive in that sense. He doesn't just like panic and want you to solve it. He has like patience with things. And of course that's come with time. He just turned 3. Like 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said that that was the case necessarily. But watching the way that he enjoys like when things fit really satisfyingly into each other, he got that from me. I'm such a builder. Like I just grew up with a lot of puzzles and that's another thing. He loves puzzles. Like I'm so proud that he loves puzzles as much as I do, because I'm such a puzzle nerd, and I think that puzzles are like a really fantastic outlet for anxious people. Like regardless of whether it's because of like, you know, being neurospicy or whatever, puzzles are a safe place for me that feels like it's like outside of the universe. Like I get to go to puzzles, like a jigsaw puzzle or Sudoku or whatever, crossword puzzle, New York Times crossword puzzle, things like that. It is a pure escape that is completely inconsequential to anything else in the world, and it feels like my safe place, and like I love that he has that too. What song do you sing to yourself all the time? God, I have the most porous memory. It takes absolutely nothing to get something stuck in my head, and then I'll be singing that. Like right now I'm singing Radiohead. I've just been walking around singing Radiohead, I promise, like all the time. Sometimes it's Moana. A lot of times it's Moana, okay? Because like my kid loves Moana so much. I've been standing, that one, yes, for sure. But my favorite song in Moana is the first one that they sing. I need to find my mascara. Actually, they just sent me, Tower 28 just sent me another, actually Tower 28 didn't, Credo sent me a new Tower 28 mascara, so I will use this. But yeah, the one that's like Moana, make way, Moana, it's time you knew. The village of Montaigne is all you need. Feedback on this mascara, I wish the component was heavier. And like, there's so many people who roll their eyes when I say that, but it's like Tom and I are both like, I just like heavy makeup, okay? I just like heavy makeup, okay? I know that that's stupid, but I'm stupid, okay? Let's just call it what it is. And this is called Make Waves, so make waves, make waves. I haven't actually put on any blush yet. Oh, that's right, we were gonna, I don't know about this, y'all. I don't know about this. We have 3 of the Laura Mercier tinted moisturizer blushes. That's Provence, Promenade, and Southbound, which is new. Making my way downtown. Let's see if I still find this really difficult to use. I'm gonna use my dampened sponge for this one. See how much we can get out of it here. That's right. Yeah, look how pigmented they are. Like, it's just kind of a flat color experience. It's, blech. I don't love that. I don't love that. I just wish that they had more dimension to them in and of themselves. I wish that the colors just didn't look so flat on the skin, because they're tough to blend. I think that like people always complain that they're tough to blend, but it's because I feel like the color just looks so two-dimensional when it hits your skin that it's like, if you don't blend it perfectly, it really calls you out. That's fine. Ooh, you know what this calls for? Dragé. I'm determined to use this. I love this so much. So this is what are they called? Baume Essentiel from Chanel, and this was one that I bought at the Chanel Atelier in New York City because I was just like enamored with it the moment that I used it. I'm putting it on a sponge here. And the thing God, look at it. The thing I love about this is that like it is so, like I've tried so many things in this delivery system that just don't work, and this does. And the way that it works, do you want, okay, watch. My under eyes look kind of crepey because of the powder and everything. Boom. It hydrates. It just makes you look like your skin is happier and healthier, but it doesn't make everything break up or pick up. It's ridiculous. It makes your skin look like dewy and gorgeous and healthy and hydrated, and it like brings the life back to it even if you were to like put it on midday. Like it's kind of a makeup refresher. If your makeup is kind of looking dry and icky in the middle of the day, you can take this even on your finger and just pat it on your under eyes and everything just looks alive again. It's an incredible product that I feel like does not get enough attention. And it comes in several shades. Dragé just happens to be the one that I like. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? And it doesn't like gather or anything. I just think that the Chanel formulas are so sophisticated. I've just never met a highlighter stick, especially a balm, like one that claims to be a balm, that's that agreeable, you know, that just like goes on that easily without complaining. Because like something comparable that comes to mind is like the lit up stick from Westman Atelier, which I would not recommend. You know, the thing is just, it picks all your makeup up and this doesn't. I can't explain why it works so well, but it's lovely. A little bit of clear brow gel. And I think that the only thing left to do here is a little bit of the Naturium balm. Let's swatch the ones that I have in front of me here. Here we have Chai, Mocha. These are the Naturium Phyto Glow Lip Balms. Absolutely beautiful, beauty, beauty. The next one is called Spice. And there's that one. I really don't think you can go wrong here. And the last one is Latte. So I think that the first one that we did, what did we say that was called? Chai? I think Chai is the one today. It's so pretty. It's got a little coolness to it. I'll use my khaki lip liner for this. I need to order a new one. God knows how old this thing is. And here I go, putting it on my mouth. Let's go. Does this answer your question? What song? Like my brain is so porous. I wanna see. I like to dance with the water. Okay, someone did ask the difference between these, or you know, just it was like in the this or that, but I hadn't gotten these yet. The difference between these and the Rhode ones and which ones I would prefer. The Rhode is a lot thinner and they have more pinks in the colors, but they're comparable. It's just, you know, the Naturium ones are all browns, which I think is a cool choice. I don't really have a preference. It's just like this one's a little more cosmetic. I guess that's the thing to point out, is like the Naturium ones they're more pigmented and they're more present. There's just more to them. Whereas I feel like the ones from Rhode are majority skincare. Does that make sense? Yeah, little Sierra Taylor moment. That's what she always does. Yeah, let's do a little smash and pass on everything that we used today, because I think that even though I made something happen here, like I have misgivings on almost everything that I used today. So let's start with the foundation and the concealer. I don't recommend these. I mean, I think that they're really pretty, and if you have them, don't throw them away. That's not my point. It's just like, again, it's not setting itself apart in terms of like the ocean of things that it is comparing itself to. You know, I'm going to recommend the Danessa Myricks ahead of this just because it's a better shade range. It is a lot less expensive, it's like half the price, you know? Like, and there's just not really any contest. Like, there's no reason that something like this that performs beautifully, but like not uncommonly, there's no reason that it should cost this much. And just so few people can really get their shade in it that it's just, I can't in good conscience recommend it. I would absolutely recommend the Yummy Skin over that. And as far as the concealer's it's okay. I think that the concealer is like not something I would recommend even on formula, because I just didn't love sort of like, I don't love how it's kind of clinging to dry spots and stuff, like on my lips and underneath my eyes before I put Dragé down. I feel like this kind of like almost soaked up too much powder and like was really want to separate. So it's just not one that I would recommend regardless. The Flight 70 bronzer, it might be great for someone else, but it didn't really work for me. The formula is misbehaving because the color doesn't really work, and I'm not really sure I could speak super highly of the formula to begin with. It just felt like it wanted to be kind of patchy and not go on evenly, so I don't really think that this is worth it. I also don't love the Laura Mercier liquid blushes, but I already knew that. Y'all saw, just like, it's not a nuanced experience, okay? It's not doing anything positive for my cheeks. It just feels like color, you know? And like, that's not something I'm gonna recommend anybody pay for. The things that saved the day today, Dragé and the Givenchy powder, and like surprisingly not good, was the LH Cosmetics 9 pan. She does some really beautiful stuff. I love the new Golden 20s palette, things like that. Like, I usually really like her formulas. And this one isn't it. Like, it was dusty and it didn't want to adhere, and even when I used a primer, it didn't really want to adhere, and once it adhered, it didn't want to blend, and the textures are fine, but it's like not that exciting. It's just, again, in an ocean of makeup, you probably already have something like this that you like better. And at the end of the day, it's a bunch of like satin browns. And then the winners, I mean, this is a layup, right? But the Naturium, what are they, the Phyto Glow lip balms? They're just winners. They're just beautiful, right? I mean, they're nourishing, they're gorgeous colors. I love that there's like a mix of cool, warm, fair, and deep here, but I think anybody could wear any of them because they're not milky, you know? I think that they're fantastic and they're well priced. I think all this stuff is a Target, you know? So Naturium just is a winner in this one, and the rest of it, even though I made something that looks okay, it's definitely not my favorite. And if you're new to my channel, the main thing that I measure all of my judgments by on whether or not I recommend a product is it easy and is it fun? And all the new stuff today that I used, none of it was easy and none of it was fun, with the exception of this. So yeah, they can't all be winners, can they? But I did end up with something, at least the color story is nice. I do like that. So anyway, y'all, I hope you appreciated this. I do like a video that, you know, at least tells y'all sometimes what not to buy. Like, let me save you some money. So if you did enjoy this and you valued it, do please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, cool people, subscribe if you're cool. It would be cool if you did, and I'll put a video up here that I think you're going to enjoy if you liked this one. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.